Ah, well, there I go. This very well maybe my last recording. Yeah, that's because I might be dying. Oh no, I've been talking about that for years, and I know that one way or another it's been true, but I mean, I feel that maybe I have finally arrived at the end stage. It's impossible to say just how bad I feel. Like, apart from having lost my accommodation and all my possessions, my health is terrible. I really just want to go to sleep. So tired. No appetite, no drive, no future to work towards. Not even anymore a present that I'm enjoying that I want to continue with. No, I must point out that although I may be dying, it's not because I want to. I haven't thrown in the cards prematurely. No, I've actually kept on going long after I could have been expected to give in. But what was keeping me going was the dog. The dog has kept me all day, every day, at all times, aware of the present time and aware of the dog's condition in the present time. Is she enjoying it, or has she got a problem? Or could I make it more pleasant for her? And it's that approach to life. Is the dog alright? Is she enjoying it? Could I make it better? That approach to life is what has kept me going for 2 years, despite terrible inhumanity and ignorance. I can get so sorry for myself, but then again, when I look back, I've had a very unusual life. I've lived various fantasies, and until I was actually interrupted by authorities and criminals, the fantasies were real, you know. It's only when someone else objects that your fantasy is seen as not agreed upon by other people. Anyway, what a thing is life. Uh, I don't know if anyone has ever before managed to do what I've done before dying. Look at this. I am considering that at any moment now, at any time now, without me taking conscious action to achieve it, I am thinking that circumstances will arrive at the end of my life. Now, for thousands of years at least, people have always wondered, what is this all about? Life and death. It seems at this point in history we never had a less meaningful explanation for it. It just looks like a random chaos life, doesn't it? No right direction for us all to be going in. There's nothing after death, is there? Is there? Can you even remember me? No. See, like, when I talk about illusion, it's like this. A man can work very hard day after day, on work which is unrewarded, but he believes it is going to bring about some improvement or benefit for others. Now, that time is rewardingly spent. That is a good way to spend one's life. For example, the farmer who tends the fields to produce food for others. If he does a good job, he feels that he has spent his time well. It wouldn't have been any more enjoyable sitting at the opera, would it? As long as you believe that what you are doing is the best that you could be doing, and you are doing your best at it for the right motives, then you couldn't really hope for better than that, could you? But then someone comes along and says, we don't want what you've done for us on behalf of all society. You make video films and do public activism intended to popularize cannabis. We don't want that. That's what I've been told. But I can think of hundreds of thousands of people who smiled and laughed and waved and danced with me. They want it. I have to conclude that society is still under the control of suppressive people who do not want what is best for all the people, all of the time. But maybe that was an illusion that was never real, that we're working towards an ideal society where we're all compassionate, cooperative, caring, sharing, loving. What a dream. It has motivated good artistic and other productive work, but it's still an illusion. Some people work on a personal gratification as their top priority in life, their money, their comfort, their possessions. Can I say that's wrong? When they look back at the end of a life, do they think, I got it right? Look at the person who owns this building here. The person who owns this building owns quite a few properties in Bristol. They supply temporary accommodation for people in homelessness, homeless people with different kinds of needs. So this building supplies temporary accommodation for people who are homeless with particular needs. It's £35 a night for this room. Washing machine isn't working. The fridge isn't working. There's no towel in this room. There's no plug in the sink. Need I go on? That's a lot of money. Whereas if I had received the help that I actually needed, it would have cost much less and I would be living much more comfortably with my dog. Now, and to get into this place, I had to part company with my dog because dogs are considered to be messy, troublesome animals. Whereas my dog is a very clean, sociable, loving animal. But the rules don't take account of that. So I've had to part company with my dog to stay here, which means that I find there is absolutely nothing I am motivated to do. I don't feel any need to go and get food because I don't have a habit of chasing after food at a regular time. I don't feel any need to go anywhere and do anything. All I feel is, where's my dog? Where's my love of life? Why am I going on? There's nothing here for me. There's nothing left. Which is what led to me considering I am dying now. Well, I knew when I had 4 nights outdoors with the dog, getting more and more dirty, more run down, less conscious, more pain. I knew that that was likely to end badly, dying outdoors. And I was sad for the dog because who knows what would happen if I die outdoors and the dog is lost and falls into the hands of strangers. And I spent all day trying to convince the people in Amelia Court that I should be accommodated with my dog because that is what has kept me alive. This is not a normal man or a normal dog. They said I must get rid of the dog. Well, rather than put the dog in a kennel, which would be even worse than me dying on the street, dying and leaving the dog in the kennels, so I've allowed the dog to go to a friend's home. But that means I have said goodbye. I have said I will now die. I'm taking the upset away from the dog and from my friends. They don't even need to know that I'm dead. It's just sad. Okay, well, I realise looking back that for over 20 years a lot of my video films have had the flavour of complaining about how horribly unjust and cruel the authorised system is. Right, okay, well, okay. Most human beings live in ignorance all their lives. Most human behaviour is one or other form of ignorant behaviour. Some good things happen. Some good things are made to happen by good people. Let's be grateful for that. So I think another way of looking at it is I never really accepted the transience of life. You know, I protested that. I always hoped for or believed in the achievement of some condition or state where you go, that's it, I'm happy forever now, I've got this, I can never lose it. You know, I thought that would be like when you met your soulmate and married or, you know, bonded yourself with them, you go, that's it, we've made it forever now, we've got the prize, we never lose it. No, that's not true. And then having children. I can't think of any case that hasn't gone wrong. Parents die, children die, and before that happens they can do all sorts of things to each other, good and bad. So it would appear that life is an activity with pleasure and pain and the application of intelligence to finding your way through life with the minimum pain and the maximum pleasure for yourself and for those who support you, that you support. Yeah. In other words, if you go to a film and there's very, very good characters that meet each other and fall in love, don't assume that they'll still be alive at the end of the film, happy ever after. This is not the way life goes. But the adventure is the fun. You know what I mean? Now, am I wasting time? No, this is a man who is dead by the time you see this. I had vast amounts of what I considered to be truth and knowledge that I wanted to share. You know, I wanted to be like Saint Francis, or you know, one of the saints, help mankind in a big way. But have you noticed that we don't want big celebrities anymore? There's not been many saints lately. It's harder to believe in a perfect human being. There are so many things people get into these days. Look at Rolf Harris. If he can be punished for his behaviour back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, then what's going to happen to all those people who were far worse than him? They're not going to object to anything that's wrong in society. They're just going to think, oh, I don't want what Rolf got. Well, perhaps the pleasure in working for other people's benefit is in working for other people's benefit while you're actually doing it, thinking this is good for other people, or that person, or these people, this is really good for them. I feel great. And that's how I felt when I took many of my photographs, played the guitar, drums, sing, dance. This is good fun. It's good for them, it's good for me, it's good for us. And at the end of the day, that's all you can say. You go out on a boat fishing, you might catch fish, you might not, but you have a good time. And if it rains, you protect yourself from the rain. And if the boat catches fire, you put the fire out. And if the boat sinks, you swim to shore. It's all a game. I have now lived a whole life where I have felt that I am working on the correction of the main things which are wrong in human society. Do you see what I mean? This is like since I was 15 or 16 and the Beatles were singing about revolution, I have considered that I was working towards major improvement in human life internationally. This meant either or both the discovery of new, improved approaches to living, or the isolation and correction of what is wrong in life. Yeah? And as the years go on, it seems that there are less and less people actually dreaming of an ideal society or working towards an improvement. It seems that most people settle down into coping personally and scraping by for themselves. They're not really motivated by other people's happiness. Well, that's just the way it is. For you learn things. I've learned too much. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote some great adventure stories. Sick in bed, poor, ailing, sickly man. Great adventure stories, but he personally spent most of his life ill, dying. Yeah. Should I say I've loved, I've lived, I've lost? Who doesn't? Nobody gets a prize that they hang on to forever. I don't think I'll say anymore. I'm not going to struggle much. I think I'm going to just go to sleep. I don't feel like struggling anymore. If I go back round to see my little dog, I won't want to part from her again. They won't let me stay here with the dog. I would end up out on the pavement, noisy and messy, likely to get sectioned under the Mental Health Act and die in custody. Dog. Anyway, I always wanted my life to be of benefit for others if possible. I wanted to share whatever I discovered. It wasn't a selfish motivation. I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, I wanted to teach. I wanted to learn. I thought that the motivation to teach caused me to learn more because I've got to find out on behalf of them so that I can tell them. Because nobody's ever been this far out, walking around Tibet, smoking marijuana and going, this is where our religion comes from, the Himalayas. Yeah, well, here's the lesson. I knew before I got that dog that it was going to be a beautiful dog and I was going to love her and she was going to love me. I knew that in advance, and that's the way I would treat any child or partner. I put their happiness equal in importance to mine, and because of that, because the dog is so honest, unlike any human being I've ever negotiated with, the more love you give a dog, the more it bends over backwards to love you more than you're loving her, right? No, but I love you even more than you love me. Yeah, which just makes me love the dog even more. And the dog is more intelligent than a human being because she's not looking ahead at parting. Whereas in the last week I've been looking at a dog and thinking, this is coming to an end. And I'm so sad because I enjoy this so much. And I'm not going to be able to do it anymore, but neither are you. But I've taught the dog how to teach other people to see to their needs. So this is actually what I've contributed to society. I wasn't allowed to become a popular celebrity spokesman for the use of cannabis, marijuana, or for the cleaning up of corruption in the social system. But I have managed to demonstrate how to get love going with an animal, and that animal teaches the other animals and humans that it meets. So, I've left the world with more love in it than I found it. Now, I look at forgiveness. No, I'm not dishing it out willy-nilly to all and sundry. Jesus is still on the cross. Yeah, yeah, no forgiveness. Now, I'm not losing anything, am I? I mean, I'm not sitting at the top of the hill in a big castle full of treasure. that I'm going to lose when I die. No, I spent all my treasure. Got a couple of quid left in the bank. But if I stay around much longer, it's going to be uncomfortable. Shall I just get it over with? Well, what would I want to say to people? We can't even agree what the effects of cannabis are. We can't even agree what's genuine cannabis. You can't make somebody tell the truth. Everybody that's a celebrity or even a respectable official can be controlled by their shameful secrets. That is, almost everyone is involved in something that they wouldn't want to be widely known, and that means they can be controlled, and they cannot, no one can be made to stay true to the truth unless they end up, like me, stripped of all their possessions and respect. But I've still got my honour and integrity. I don't think I'm going to say any more. I don't think everybody's going to be tuning in to national television to watch this. Cheerio, unimportant person leaving the world, did a lot. If it was of any value, it will get to you, one way or the other. Love, life.